platform. That's how I got introduced to this business over 7 years ago. That's right. I'm entering into my seventh year, 7 glorious and wonderful years. I am so happy to be a part of this. I'm a mom of four. My twins are actually going to be 25 years old this month, right? And I have an 18-year-old, she's gone off to university, and my 15-year-old son is over here on the couch. So I'm hoping he's absorbing some of this information too, right? So one of the greatest things that we want to pass on this information to our children, and that's one of the main reasons why I love this business. This month is International Women's Month, right? We have to give ourselves a round of applause, and we do know that we celebrate each and every one of us every single day, right? Not just in one month, but every single day. So I am going to share with you a couple of fun facts, some historical things, and let me share my screen. And then you guys, we will get started here. So go ahead and keep inviting people, and then give me a thumbs up once you are able to see my screen. Oh, I think I have to stop sharing that one. Okay, stop and restart. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you, Anila. I appreciate you guys here. Actually, I'm ahead of the game. Great. So once again, happy International Women's History Month. All of the above, right? Welcome, Alicia. Welcome, Miss Helen. Nice to see you here. Okay, so just a little bit of housekeeping, right? So this is not to be interpreted as any legal tax advice, nothing like that. We're not trying to sell you any products. We're not trying to solicit. This is really for educational purposes. We're on a national campaign, and we're here to give people financial literacy, right? And our core, our women, that is the key. Okay, so we have to empower one another and empower each other. So please note that you're not going to get everything from this. That's why we keep inviting you to come back for more. When I first went to the workshops, I just started learning. And when I realized, oh my goodness, I don't know what I thought I knew, Anila, that's when I said, let me keep coming back and learning more. Okay, so you do that. All right. So once again, happy Black History Month. Sorry. Happy Women's History Month. I am so sorry. My son's distracting me in the back. Okay. So, of course, we want to honor the past, celebrate the present, and inspire everyone for the future, right? Because we are always making history here. I have a question for you guys. I want this to be interactive. Now, what does financial freedom mean to you as a woman? Can anyone please just unmute and answer, or you can just write it in the chat? What does it mean? Financial freedom. Like, what does that mean to you as a woman? If no one unmutes, I'm going to start calling people's names.
Um, Not having to rely on someone like either a parent or a partner, being able to make your own expenses on your own account without having to wait for anybody.
Awesome. I love that, Anila. Yes, being independent, right?
Miss
That's another
Anaya.
good song to play as well. Independent woman, right? I love it. Anyone else?
Also, it's pronounced Anaya.
Anaya. Okay, sorry, my glasses, it's looking like an I or L I couldn't see. So Anaya. Wonderful. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, I think there's something in the chat. Let me see. Okay. Not feeling stuck. That's what Cecile says, okay? Not feeling stuck. Definitely, right? Because we don't want to be just like in a position where we feel we can't go left, we can't go right. We have options, right? When we have financial freedom, we have options. Wonderful. I appreciate you guys and welcome all those who just joined. Okay, so it's really, really important, right? The importance of women and money. Women make up half the global population, influencing both households and economics. Financial independence leads to personal freedom, confidence, and societal progress. So when we have financial freedom, the whole of entire of society also progresses. So let's take a look historically. Women's access to finances traditionally was through her husband. In fact, women and children, did you guys know that they were considered property of the husband or father? And you know what? In some countries, Anaya, it still is today, right? Limited property rights they were until the 19th century. Women entering the workforce during world wars, then that is now when we started to get purchasing power because we were working and making money. So now we could make some decisions and get some freedom and have some choices. So this progress achieved, but there's still challenges, right? There's still a lot of challenges that persist. There is a huge gender pay gap. The national pay gap between women and men in North America is a persistent issue, with women earning significantly less than men. As you can see here with the gender pay gap, the highest paid men earn at least over six figures, right? 162K more than the highest paid woman. And you can see here that over time, the pay gap increases, right, Helen? So as we get older, you can see age 65, there's almost like a 20K gap there. So Enid, you may start off when you're 18, everybody starts off around the same pay, minimum wage, whatever, but then the gap grows as we get older. In 2025, the uncontrolled gender gap pay is 83 cents, meaning for every dollar that a man makes, we get 17 cents less, right? And I mean, even for the same exact job, you both could be, you know, bookkeepers, you're still getting 17 cents less on every dollar. So here you can see that working women full time is 83 cents, but if you're working part time, right, including both, it's 77 cents on each dollar. So the average salary for women is about 43, so like say 44,000 annually, and for men it's 55. That's a huge difference, right? What could you guys do with an extra $11,396? You can maybe buy a vehicle, small vehicle with that. Like it's a big annually. Over the years, this adds up a lot. So it's 1.6 trillion when you combine the total losses for working women in the US each year due to the gender gap. Guys, that's big. We got to do something about this, right? So there's some factors controlling the gender gap pay. Number one, occupational segregation. So women often they work in industries or roles that are traditionally lower paying, right? Such as the caregiver role, Enid, and education, or even retail, Alice. Men are more concentrated in higher paying fields like engineering, technology, finance, right? Finance is one of the higher paying fields, Brian. Unequal pay for equal work. So even with the same exact occupation, women frequently earn less than men for performing the same job. And unpaid labor. Women tend to take on more unpaid responsibilities, right? Because guess what? We normally, on average, we have to do all of the childcare and the housework, right, Luann? And this can limit also your participation in the workforce because if you're the one, you have to go on mat leave. You're the one who, if mommy's sick, you got to take her to the doctor. You're the one who, if something happens to the kids, you got to take them to their sports and their games, right, Allison? So there's also career interruptions, right? So that's unpaid labor. Lack of advancement opportunities. Anybody heard about the glass ceiling? Right? You can see it there, you're in the corporate world, but you can't get up there, right? So this prevents women from advancing in high-paying leadership roles. Women are often underrepresented in senior management and executive positions. I don't know about you, but whenever I go out into like a financial event, I really only see like older white males. right? So we are really just not represented. And of course, there's bias and discrimination. Gender stereotypes and biases can influence hiring, promotion, and salary decisions. And negotiation dynamics. Women may face backlash for advocating for higher pay compared to men. So let's take a look here where the gender pay gap is the widest. So in Korea, in South Korea, Odetta and I were just there in September. And honestly, when I looked, I really didn't see a lot of women working. It was mostly men, right? I think they still have a lot of traditional roles there. And if you can take a look here, let's see, Canada is at 18.2%, and US, you're not too far behind, 18.1%, right? So this is the difference in full-time earnings between men and women, okay, in some of these nations. The best is Greece. We got to all move to Greece. The difference is only 4.5%, right? We want to make more money. But I'm sure there's other ways, which we'll share with you today. So, Ashley, take a look at this. What I really wanted to share with this disparity, this is just the US here, but you can see Connecticut, right? 97 cents for every man's dollar. That is amazing, right? So, what should we all do? Let's all move to Connecticut, right? Nah, I can share something better with you that we're doing here. But if you look at the Utah, it's 72 cents. So there's a huge gap there. 27 cents is the gap all the way in Utah. So that's the difference. And when you look here, in 40 states, 1 in 2 women of color, including Black, Latina, Native American, and Asian American and Pacific Islanders, hold the lowest paying jobs and earn below a living wage, right? So they're living in poverty. A lot of them are making maybe minimum wage or less, right? And isn't it true? When do we see, like, who do you see who's doing like janitorial works or that kind of stuff? It's always the natives or like people of color. So Native women, Native American women earn just 51 cents for every white man's dollar, right? That's almost half. That's crazy. Don't you think that's crazy, Cecile? Well, there is a global impact on the gender pay gap. And guess what? The World Economic Forum estimates it could take decades or even a century in some regions to close the pay gap completely. The gender pay gap has significant economic consequences and it contributes to income inequality and reduces overall economic productivity, right? But I have great news. We have many women in leadership. There are many barriers still, right? For people to get into executive roles, starting from elementary school to corporate world. So as we see, now they're starting to introduce STEM. So that is the sciences, technologies, engineering, and math. Now they're trying to get girls involved in those things so that we could go into those untraditional roles, right? We're trying to crack and break that glass ceiling. And there's still a lot of network biases. What do I mean by that? You ever heard of the boys club? Right? If you're not a part of that, Ashley, that boys club, then you know you can't get in. So it's who you know. And then also dealing with sexual harassment in the workplace, right, Helen? But we do have major women entrepreneurs. So, although access to capital and many other challenges faced by female entrepreneurs, the growth of women-owned businesses continues to increase globally. Success stories of notable women entrepreneurs like my girl who's going to be sharing today, $250,000 annual earner, Miss Odetta King. That's just one example of many. You can see here the world's 100 most powerful women, right? So women, we do have a say. You know what they say? They say the man is the head, right, Brian? But the woman is the neck. Okay, so we control which way that head moves, right? Women have huge purchasing power. A man doesn't just go and, purchase the home, the woman, right? The man purchases the car, but the woman is the one that's influencer right behind it, right, Enid? Now, empowering women through financial literacy and education is what we do here at World Financial Group, right? So we're teaching financial skills to women. This is not an option. It is not an option, guys. It is a necessity. Would you rather, I have a question for you. Would you rather shrink your dreams to fit into that, 70 cents to a dollar to your current paycheck? Or would you want to increase your income so that you can dream big, right? So that you can dream huge, so it's unlimited. What do you guys think? What would you prefer? Tell me. Would you like A, or you can write it in the chat that you want to shrink your dreams or you want to increase your income? Which one? Write it in the chat. You can write it in the chat or you can just unmute. Yeah, definitely. B, this is the time that you want to go for B. I see it in the chat there, right? This is why you must become your own money manager, right? So you have to understand the rules of money and make money work for you. Guess what? A wonderful lady named Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it, right? Because guess what? Life is all about changes. Change your thinking can change your future. We want freedom. So increase your knowledge, which you're doing coming here. I applaud you. And build multiple streams of income. We want flexibility. Start building a business in the growing financial industry. Be your own boss. And the lifestyle, right? I'm sure my girl Odetta can talk to you so much about the lifestyle. That's one of the reasons why I joined, because I love traveling. Enjoy the benefits of building an organization all across the world, right? And travel. I'm here in Canada. Many of you are in the US. And of course, purpose. Educate and help families. That's the biggest thing. We want to have a strong purpose, build a strong financial foundation, and change people's lives, right? So I appreciate each and every one. And now I am going to pass the baton on to my lovely co-host, the beautiful Christine, who has also been in the business for 7 years, just as I have been. And she has one grown son and one grown husband. All right. So I appreciate you. And take it away, Christine.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, thank you. And happy Women's Month to everyone on the line. It is just an honor and a privilege to be with you on tonight. I want to thank Odetta for the opportunity to be in the room. And believe it or not, this is a powerful room. So, as mentioned, I'm Christine Jackson. I live in Southern Maryland. And as Stacy said, one grown son, 27, and a husband of 40 years, Philip. So, my background, a little bit about my background. I have 31 years of federal government service. I started in sales and marketing, commercial sales with the US Postal Service, and then I transitioned to the Smithsonian Institution, the African American History and Culture Museum in Washington, D.C., working in human resources. So, I've seen a lot from benefits to promotions. I've seen it all. However, the information I want to share on tonight is something really, really that changed my life. In 2019, and it's going on now 7 years, I was invited by a friend and I joined the financial industry, the fastest growing industry in the world. This was one of the best decisions I could have ever made. Why? It changed not just my own perspective on how money works, but it has helped family, ministry, friends, and everyone that I engage with just by sharing the basic principles and things that we never knew, concepts about how money works. Also, the financial education just expanded our minds about growth and how important it is to understand these basic principles because it doesn't just apply for today, but it applies well into retirement. So I'm very, very proud to be a financial educator and an agency owner. I'm going to give you just a few statistics about the federal government. Um, we all know that in 2025, something happened and it wasn't good. October the 1st, 2025, the federal government had a 43-day shutdown. It reopened on November the 12th, 2025. But prior to that shutdown, the last federal government shutdown was in 2019. And according to the current administration, it was, believe it or not, due to the US-Mexico border wall. How about that? So here you have a workforce of many, many individuals. Families were impacted, livelihoods were disrupted, children were taken out of college. Everything just kind of went haywire. So this 43-day government shutdown did again something that took place the longest in history. It disrupted not just personally, it disrupted businesses and how we receive goods and the services that we look to every day. So it's just some of the statistics. As of 2024, would you believe that 40% of women worked in the federal government? The total representation, women represent nearly 1.1 million of 2.3 federal civilian employees. Women also represent a majority of the workforce in several agencies, and the top five would be the Veterans Administration, Education Department, Treasury, Housing and Urban Development, and Human Health and Human Services. So there are 15 government agencies, again, that took a major hit, a hit that really will take a long time to recover. So what did this do? This brought about challenges for women who were really, really looking to retire. They were, there were some that were still new, in the workforce, and then some that were kind of like in the middle stage of being employed. And then there were those, a large majority, who were on the cusp of retirement. So the key challenges for women in retirement are a number of things. First of all, there are fewer years in the workplace. And Stacy mentioned the gender gap, the pay gap. There's greater longevity. And then, of course, while in retirement, these women, they face escalating healthcare challenges and the costs we know. And we're hearing it every day in the news about healthcare. Can you even afford it? And if you do, what will go awry just to make sure you have, decent health care. So these are critical priorities that are needed, just to sustain. With women, we found too that there's a limited investment experience because, again, with fewer years in the workforce, of course, that's less contribution to a 401k. And women on average spend about 9 years less in the workforce than men. This is often due to, as Stacy mentioned, caregiver responsibility. We are considered the sandwich generation. We're taking care of the children, taking care of ailing parents. Women have many hats, many hats that we wear. 20% of this group, again, are considered the strong arm of care within a household. So this burden is not just financial, but it's physical and emotional as well. The rising cost of healthcare, again, it's a significant burden on women. And why is that? Because women, believe it or not, pay more in healthcare than men. 4.8% compared to the men, and that's about a 3.6 gap that widens with age. Women also have limited experience when it comes to investing. Investment experience, that can be a challenge. Again, education, financial literacy education. Again, women have the leading edge. And I say that because in this particular industry, it is comprised now more so of women. Would you believe that? Now, years ago, and I believe Stacy touched on this, it was the other persuasion that dominated the financial industry. Well, things have changed, and the opportunity, again, is available for all. We as financial professionals, we can fill the gaps that I just mentioned. We provide credible, tailored, and guidance around financial stability. We work one-on-one with our clients. And even though women face distinct and compounding challenges preparing for retirement, from just reduced lifetime earnings and longer retirements to higher healthcare costs, we know that Social Security is not enough. And, you'll learn more about that too. You may be someone who is close to retirement. There are things that are just really, I'm not going to say hidden. This information is available through, again, having a financial professional to walk you through how you're impacted by taxes, how you're impacted by healthcare. I mean, we, with World Financial Group, we do it all. So in closing, I say this: how can one speak on a solution or a problem unless they're invested themselves and experience the value? Through this amazing financial business and financial organization, both myself and my son and husband have been able to secure plans that provide something you cannot buy, as people say, peace of mind. And I say that to say this, unless you can own a solution or something of value, how can you speak to it? Well, I gladly say that my personal story is I would always wonder in the back of my mind, what would happen if I got sick? How would they fare? My husband would always say, we'll manage. But see, reality says you need skilled care. So my testimony is that I purchased a plan known as long-term care. You're going to hear more about it, you're going to learn about it, and you're going to also see the benefit in having monies set aside for the just in case. Yes, my husband and son have agreed, I'll take care of you. But when we get into long-term care, we need skilled care. And we want dignity to be able to make decisions, whether I want to be taken care of at home or do I want to be taken care of in a nursing facility. These are things that, to me, were areas where I had to make a decision. And my son, who is recent to employed to the federal government, he's learned the principles and concepts of financial education. And not only is he relying on his 401k, which is matched by the sponsoring agency, but he has started his own solutions preparing for retirement because he wants to retire by the time he's 50. So I say this to each and everyone on the line, you're in the right time at the right place. The question is, do you know it? So I want to pass this back to Stacy and thank each and every one of you for this time. And it's been an amazing journey. If you're considering joining World Financial Group, you would be doing yourself a service, not just to yourself, to your family, to your community, and to anyone that you engage with, changing their lives forever for generations to come. Let's do this together. Thank you so much. Stacy?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. Can we all give her some jazzy hands? Round of applause. We appreciate you. Okay, so welcome. We had a few people that came on a little bit later. I see Deanna there. Beatrice, welcome, welcome each and every one. Camille, hello. Hi, Audrey. All right, so now we have the woman of the hour, my friend and your companion, Miss Odetta King.com. I think that's her new name.com. She is not only an author, right? A well-established author. I believe, what is it 4 books now, Odetta? 4 books? Five! Five. Oh my goodness. Her latest one, Faith and Finance. I cannot wait to be a part of that book club. And she is also a professor, guys. She's a professor. So here you are in the right space to learn and get educated. And of course, she does everything in the financial industry from the cradle to the grave. We're able to help everyone. Okay, so once again, let's give a little drum roll and introducing my good friend who introduced me to this business. And I'm so blessed and grateful that she did that. This is a business where, guess what? It doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man, your skin complexion, there's no glass ceiling. You can make whatever you choose to make. So let's welcome Miss Odetta King.
Wow, wow, wow. Such a powerful combination of amazing women. Thank you so much for answering to the call. And listen, I mean, I was like, I'm a student listening to you guys. We got to do this more often, Christine and Stacy. But for the people who just came in the room, I know this was not planned, and I'm just gonna pivot. Um, how many years you've both been in WFG in this business? About what, 7 years, 6, 7 years each?
Yes, this is my
So
seventh year,
Mhm.
7
7
2026.
years.
years.
So
Mhm.
what made you guys? Well, obviously you guys are both well accomplished in your career, but what made you decide to come on board and do this?
Well, for me, I always knew there was more to it, more to finances, more to understanding how money works. And it was like a no-brainer. It was like, wow, just by being available, just by wanting to be knowledgeable about the financial industry, it was a no-brainer for me. It was like I have to do this for my family. Yes.
Now you're in HR. So
Hmm.
now that you're on, you're still in HR, but you have knowledge on both sides, right? So
Yes.
what are your thoughts on what is it our workplace are giving us versus what we're showing to families? Because you're in HR, right? You're the one telling people, hey, sign up for your 401k, sign up for your 457, sign up for your 403b. And there's nothing wrong with that because if that's what the job is offering, you're in
Yes.
HR, that is your job to tell the employees, sign up for these plans, right?
Yes. Yes. So it's like this. Orientation is you fill this out. If you want a 401k, you fill that out. It's up to you to determine which percentage of your pay. We're not going to talk to you about taxes. You need your accountant for that. We get nothing, literally, you know, just pretty much decisions in the blind when it comes to electing for benefits. But World Financial Group has just, it's a whole different cadre of just everything you need to make the right decision when it comes to the taxes, when it comes to the contributions, health care, the plans, everything. It's amazing, life
Wow.
changing.
Wow,
Yes.
wow, wow. Well, thank you so much for seeing this opportunity and seeing how, when you have the entire picture, when you have all the information, we can truly be empowered by making the best decision. And guys, there's nothing wrong. If you have those plans, there's nothing wrong with the plan, but just know that they are better solutions. They are better
Yes.
options.
Mhm.
And so many times I hear clients tell me, Odetta, I'm good. And I'm saying to myself, I thought I was good too, right? Because I was stacking my 401k. I love to save money. So I was one of those people stacking, stacking, stacking. But like you, I also knew that there was more because I understood that my money is growing when the market is up, but then when the market is down, I'm losing. And it never stuck well with me losing money. Another thing that really stood out to me is saving money. I love saving. But where I was saving in the bank, at the end of the year, I look at how much interest I got, and I'm like, I did the math. I calculated about 20 to 30 years to retire. And if I keep getting X amount of interest, well, how much would I have in about 30 years? And then it hit me that even though I have all this money, the interest that I'm getting at the bank times inflation, I'm still gonna be broke. So just like you, I was searching. So when this opportunity presented itself to me, it was like, this is it. There has to be more, and this is it. What about you, Stacy? What is it that made you decide to, okay, I'm gonna also get into this field?
Okay, so for myself, I actually worked in a head office in a retail company for over 25 years. And I was so blessed that I was a part of this organization already because during COVID, they went bankrupt, right? So in 2019, I saw my girlfriend Odetta King flying here, flying there, gone to Hawaii, gone all these places. And I'm like, what is she doing? I said, whatever you're doing, I want to do because I love to travel. And then when she hit me with, you could travel for free, I was like, say no more. You don't have to tell me twice. All right. Number one, business expenses, it's a write-off. Number two, you can actually qualify for these trips, right? And then the next major thing that was for me, I guess another kind of selfish reason is when I found out about the tax benefits, right? Like I have my computer here that I just bought, and that's a tax write-off. My phone bill every month, right? That is a business expense. I'm here in my home office, my utilities, a certain percentage of the taxes for my home, everything's a write-off. This is the capitalist country that we live in, Canada and the US, right? If you're not a business owner, right? If you're not an entrepreneur, I really don't know what you're doing. You're working two or three jobs. Two of those jobs is just to pay the taxes, right? So when I heard these things, I was on board. You didn't have to say anything to me twice.
Wow, 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 wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I am so loving this. And I want to acknowledge, guys, this is a powerful room. I see a lot of key people in the building. And I'm just going to shout out. I know some of them are very low key. We have a doctor in the room. We have an attorney in the room. We have a pastor's wife in the room. We have an IRS tax person in the room. Woo! Say what? And oh my God, I'm super excited. But since it's tax season, I don't know. I'm always doing things on the fly. Oh, we also have Pastor Carol in the room. I want to give, and let me see if I can do that. Oh, we have Nurse Enid King in the room, Nurse Donna McCray in the room. We have my very aunt who's a teacher in the room, Miss Helen, who's also a teacher of what, 40 something years, I think. Really, really powerful women in the room. So thank you so much for being on. What I'm going to share with you, some of you know my story and then some of you don't. So really quick, yes, I am a professor. I believe in multiple streams of income, and that's why I got into teaching. But my background is corporate sales. I work for all the major hotels, Starwood, Hilton, Hyatt, IHG, you name it. Love it. Was always traveling, was always doing presentation, was always going to all these Fortune 500 companies, trying to get them to sign contracts to come to our brand hotel. So love it. Everything was great. But guess what? I hit the glass ceiling. In the hotel industry, when the owner sells a hotel, they usually clean the top, right? So if you're a VP of sales, general manager, VP of housekeeping, we're always the first one to go. So it dawned on me like, wait a minute, it's not me. I'm doing a good job here. But if X person is going to buy a hotel, he's going to bring in his key people. So I found myself, maybe 2 or 3 times being let go. And I was like, okay, I got to do something else. I can't just depend on one job. So I started teaching, right? Because my background, my entire family in Guyana, shout out to my aunt Yvonne, who is the one that was instrumental in getting me to start teaching. I pivoted and I said, you know what? I got the teaching blood in me. Let me go teach at a college. Started that. It was great. And I kept doing it on the side. But while I was teaching at one of the college, Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn, an angel who is truly an angel, that's his name, and he's my angel, a Spanish guy, guys, go figure, right? He's not even my culture. A Spanish guy who also graduated from the program, he came back to the college, and we had like a career fair day. And so, they were tasked to talk about how has college prepared them for their career. And after the networking event, we exchanged numbers, and he was like, Professor King, what do you do besides teaching? And you guys know me, love social media. I've been doing this forever, right? So I was like, oh my God, I'm always on social media teaching people how to stack their coins, save, 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 save. And he's like, no way. He gifted me a book called Saving Your Future. How many of you have that book? Put in the chat. Nobody has the book, Saving Your Future? All right. Well, we're going to have to change that, right? So Saving Your Future is about 86 pages long. And guys, I was like, wait a minute. I'm telling people to save their money? Where? In the bank. What? In the bank, Odetta? I mean, it was good. And this is how you know there's better. So when clients tell me today, Odetta, I'm good, there's better. There's always better. Here I was on social media telling people to save their money in the bank, right? And then I read this book and I'm like, holy moly, like there's better places than the bank. There's better places than the stock market. So as an educator, I didn't even question this. I didn't even think it's a scam. Like as an educator, I already knew this is legit. And then once they told me you got to get a license, done deal. Sign me up. Whipped out my American Express. Back then it was $100 and I signed up and I never looked back and I just ran with it. And 8 years later, everything that I know about money is because of this environment. those 6 books that I wrote, is because of this environment. So I'm going to tell you first and foremost, some of you might be on this call tonight and you might be saying, I'm not into business. I'm not into selling. I'm not into teaching. I don't know people. I don't this. I don't. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Stop with the limiting belief. This is why you need this environment for self-improvement. Let's just start with the self-improvement part, because I see, and this is why I wrote my 3rd book, right? This is why you broke. You could give somebody the opportunity on a gold platter and they're still going to talk themselves out of it. Self-improvement. So my part that I'm going to share with you tonight is the new art of living. Okay, let's do thing and minimize this. Perfect. The new art of living. This is a new way of thinking, guys. Because what we've done up to this part, if we continue it or we just look around, or the people who've gone before us, how did they do? Some of them did good, but they could have done better. So let's talk about some major challenges. Lack of family time, high debt, compromised lifestyle, limited income flow. Those are real challenges that people face. And how can you solve that? With a philosophy called multi-handed income, which we're going to talk more about. More challenges, lack of financial education. I can tell you firsthand, I graduated from NYU. Never, ever sat in an elective or nothing to do with finance. Go figure. How do you go to an Ivy League university and they don't teach you about money? But they're preparing you to have an amazing career, make a lot of money, but you don't know how to manage your money, right? Lack of financial education. And then, of course, that's going to lead to insecure financial future because you don't know how to manage your money. And women especially need to learn to manage their money. Listen, I don't care if your husband is Bill Gates. You still need to have your own money. Because when he divorces you, or if he divorces you, or if he acts up, you listen, you still good, right? You're not tripping. And then, of course, if there's a lack of financial education, you're gonna be saving in the wrong bucket, or you don't even have a saving discipline, or you think about saving after spending, or you budget saving. You cannot budget saving, because there's never going to be any money left over. Everybody else is taking your money. Your car note is taking your money. Your student loan is taking your money. Cost of living is taking your money. Rent is taking your money. Lifestyle, like there's never going to be anything if you try to budget for saving. No, we got to make saving a priority, right? And then, of course, we're losing time, because we're getting this information, for some of us, we're getting it very late, right? 30, 40 years already went by. Now we're learning about this. So this is why we're on a mission to teach this information through our philosophy of 10% saving, which is a biblical principle. What do we know about 10% in the Bible? Put in the chat. And by the way, tomorrow is Sunday. What's going on Sunday at 7 o'clock? Put that in the chat also. Let me see if you guys are paying attention. What do we know about 10% in the Bible? Faith and finance on Sunday. Yes, Anaya. And tithes, right? We're going to tithe. We tithe to God first, and then the next 10% is to you, right? And everybody else could have the 80%. Right? So our second philosophy of 10% tree rules, tree goals. And then we have the third challenge. Again, this is why I wrote my book. This is why you broke. right? First of all, we don't have the knowledge. Then we have these limiting beliefs. We're like, oh no, I can't do this. I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me get back to you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good. I'm not good. No, if you're not good, get better, right? So we have these self-doubts, right? We have a lack of winning spirit. We have a lack of confidence. We have a lack of focus. And we have the solution to that with the philosophy of self-improvement. Because you could give somebody $1 million, they're still going to be broke. You need self-improvement. Everybody needs self-improvement. Listen, this environment that I'm in, I'm forever grateful to this guy, Angel, right? Because it's a self-improvement environment. So we are empowering families with, let's talk about the first philosophy. Ask yourself, is your current income produced by skills and hours? You went to school, you went to very good school, you got really good grades, and you got a good paying job, right? So is your current income produced by skills and hours or a system? And you could put it in the chat, right? Let us know your income that you're making right now. Is it by skills and hours or is it a system? I want to see, right? Most people, it's skills and hours because that's what we were indoctrinated to do. It was ingrained, it was banged into your head. Go to school, get a good job, and you're going to be okay. How is that working out? Paycheck to paycheck, right? Is your current income rented or owned? Well, for most people, it's rented. How is it rented? Well, you're going to a job to give them your hours and your time and your skills, but the day there's no job, you have no income. The day you get sick, you have no income. The day you die, you have no income. The day you go on vacation, you're not working. Well, yeah, if you got 2 weeks vacation, you'll get your 2 weeks paycheck. But what if you want more than 2 weeks, right? Yes, I know some jobs you may have more or you may have accumulated your vacation time and you have more, but that's it, right? Are you able to transfer your current income to your spouse and children? And in my case, to my nieces and nephews, because I don't have any kids. Well, for most people, the answer is no. My dean, my university dean, cannot transfer her PhD. When she dies, the PhD dies with her. It's done, right? Nothing is being transferred to her kids or her husband or nobody. But with this business opportunity, when I die, the money does not die. The income does not die. Somebody is still going to get it, right? I can transfer that to my nieces, my nephews, my sibling, or whomever, right? The checks are still going to come. Are you able to sell your current income? Well, you don't own it, you rent it. So how can you sell something that you rent? No, you cannot sell it, right? So the answer is no. So I want you to think about these things. And again, this is a philosophy that is new to many of us. Guys, if I was not in this environment, I would never even know about this. I would be doing exactly what the 95% of the population is doing, right? Here, we're going to teach you about having a system that you own and you can transfer and sell if you choose, right? The checks don't stop when we die, right? So ask yourself, most people, their biggest debt is going to be a mortgage, right? $1 million mortgage debt. Which family will pay it off sooner? Family A making 50,000, family B making 100,000, or family C making $500,000? Well, I can tell you this from personal experience. I'm not talking from reading what's on this computer screen. I'm telling you from personal experience. I just bought my second property and I was able to pull the money out from my IUL, right? And even though my mortgage is $3,700, I am not sending $3,700. I am sending $20,000, $15,000, $10,000. Why? Family C, if you make more money, you can put more money towards your mortgage. So if your mortgage is 3,000, you don't only have to put 3,000. You could put more. So obviously family C who's making $500,000 will be able to pay off their mortgage sooner, because if the mortgage is 3,000, baby, we sending them a check for 50 grand, 60 grand, 80 grand, right? And guess what? We just came back from our billionaire mentorship retreat in Las Vegas. And one of the guys said, "Oh, Dada, why do we even have a mortgage?" Right? So our billionaire founder said the interest rate that they got on the ranch that they just bought, the interest was like ridiculously low. So why pull out 3 million to pay off that ranch when you could take it because it's like 4%? Meanwhile, your money's earning 20% over there, right? So that's just strategic debt. But the point is, when you make a lot of money, first of all, you could put more than what the mortgage amount is. So family C 100% will always be able to pay it off quicker than someone making 50,000 or 100,000, right? Who will pay it off first? Duh, family C. So what is the real problem here? The real problem here is not the debt. It's not the debt. The debt is always going to be around. We live in America. There's always going to be debt, right? The problem is income multiplication. Where you are right now, is your income able to multiply, triple, or 5x, right? We have a saying in WFG, we turn our annual income to monthly income, right? So your income will never multiply by skills and hours. And this is why we see this happening. People are getting 2 and 3 jobs, especially people in the medical field. Like they're leaving one hospital to run to another hospital. Or professors, they're teaching at one school and they're running to go to another school to try to get more hours so that they can make more money. And then the problem now they have is they got to pay a lot of taxes because they have absolutely nothing to write off. And they're still single-handed. And they're burning their bodies out to go work all these hours, running here, there, and everywhere to make extra money. They're still single-handed. It's them alone, right? But if you have a system where now you have multiple hands, it's not just you alone. It's not just your 8 hours. You have multiple 8 hours with a system. Then you can multiply your income. Guys, think of the McDonald's. The person who owns a McDonald's, he's probably not even in the building. And he's making money. He's not in the building. The person who's in the building flipping the burgers are making less money than the person who's not in the building. Because they have a system, right? And again, they don't teach you this in school. Even the person who's going for a business degree is not going to learn this. So if you're on this call tonight, everybody should be signing up to be a member, to be in a self-improvement environment where they're going to learn and expand their mindset, because you're not going to get this, right? So do you desire to 5x and 10x your income? Of course. Who wouldn't? We got bills to pay, right? The bills are not going to pay themselves, and everything is getting more expensive. Who wants freedom? Freedom of time, right? Of course, everybody wants freedom. And what about the lifestyle? What kind of lifestyle do you really desire, right? Most people can't have it because it's based off of their income. If you're making 50,000, well, it's going to be hard to have freedom of time and an amazing lifestyle with 50,000, right? Or even 100,000, right? They keep saying now that $250,000 is like minimum wage, because guess what? people are spending more. They make more and they spend more. But OdettaKing.com, I make more, I save more, I give away more, right? And then how about generational income? Well, if you don't have the right building blocks, what are you going to have for generational wealth or generational income? Nothing. But these are things that most people would like to have. But what they're doing currently, they're not going to achieve it because they're on a single-handed income journey. What we're introducing to them is to become multi-handed income. So it's not about changing the vehicle. You love your job, stay at your job, keep your job, but be open-minded that there's other ways that can make it better for you, right? The second philosophy is this 10% tree rules and tree goals. How do you build wealth? Most people have no concept or idea. Some people built it just by a fluke, right? Maybe they got into business, maybe they did real estate, but they did not really know that there's a formula to building wealth, right? So when you get paid, yes, God first, 10% retire, and then the next 10% is to you. You have to. If you cannot save 10%, you got a problem. If you cannot save 10%, you got a major problem with your finance, right? And then there's only so much you can cut. So we got to make more money. It's simple. Money answer all things. Money answer all things. Most people problem today, money can fix it. You want a new car? Money can fix it. You want a house, accommodation, an apartment? Money can fix it. You want your kids to go to the best school? Money can fix it. You want to be in good shape? Money can fix it. You want to go to Dubai? Money can fix it. Money answers all things. The Bible said so. Most people's problem today can be fixed with money. I was talking to my mom. I'm going crazy trying to pack up. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why don't I just order a moving company and let them come and pack up everything? Money can fix it. So the 10% that we're telling people to save, that's the minimum. 10%. Because guess what? That 10% where you know where to put it, because we're going to teach you tonight, that 10% will help you 100% in the future. 100% in the future. That 10% will help you. But you got to know where to put it. Because you see, some people might be saving it, but they're not saving it smart, right? So when you get your 10% that you're going to save, you want to make sure that it's following these 3 rules. It has to compound. What do you mean, Odetta? Well, it got to grow. It got to double and triple. I know it's not faith and finance, but we're not going to do the talents. We're not going to be the person with the 5 bag of gold and go bury it. So for all those people who say, Odetta, I'm good, I got a sue, I got money in the bank. No, you're not. You're not good. You could be better. Is your money compounding when you bury it? Is your money compounding when you give it to the susu person? Is your money compounding when you put it in the bank earning 0 point whatever? No, it's not. Your money has to grow. And your money has to have the least amount of tax, and if possible, tax-free, because tax-free money means more money. If I give 2 individuals $1 million and one has to get taxed and the other doesn't get taxed, who has more money? So your 401k that may have $1 million and you telling me, Odetta, I'm good? No, you're not. I mean, I applaud you for having $1 million. That's great. But knowing what we teach, you woulda, shoulda, coulda had more. Honey, $1 million in a 401k is not $1 million, because that $1 million is going to get taxed. At how much? You don't even know, right? So you want to make sure that your money has these 3 rules and accomplish these sequence. Income protection. What does that mean, Odetta? Well, you just bought a house, right, Odetta? Yeah. What if you get sick? Well, the strategies that I have in place, if I get sick, 2% of 3.5 million, do the math. Income protection. Income protection. When God say whatever, and let's say you get ill, how is your mortgage being paid? How is your rent being paid? How is your car note being paid? How is the medication being paid? I spoke to a client 2 weeks ago who said, Odetta, I did not even have money to go to the doctor. Everybody needs this. Everybody needs this information. This is why I'm so passionate. An income replacement. We want to live long, right? Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to live long. But guess what? That's going to come with some more challenge. Money answer all things. Because when you're 70, 80, 90, 100 and your kids are grown and your kids are gone and your kids got their own family, baby, who's taking care of you? Money answer all things. Because guess what? Your home health aide is going to love you. Because she knows she getting paid every Friday. And if she give you attitude and you don't like her, you call the agency and I need another replacement nurse. You in the best nursing home. You still want to be eating lobster? Lobster it is. Income replacement. And what about generational wealth? Well, if you have kids, what does the Bible tell us about generational wealth? I know it's not faith and finance. I know it's not Sunday night, but I just can't help but say it. Because this is my money ministry. What does the Bible tell us about generational wealth? Put in the chat. I want to see what kind of people are on here tonight. What does the Bible tell us about generational wealth? Are we supposed to die poor? Are we supposed to leave nothing so that the kids and grandkids could just suffer and just figure it out because you had to figure it out? You want to be mean and say, okay, my mom didn't leave me anything. My granddad didn't leave me anything. So to hell with them. They going to figure it out just like I did. No. This is why you got to be in this environment for self-improvement, because you may come in this way, but you're going to go out the other way. Self-improvement, baby. You may be thinking that way, but you get around this environment, listen, you're going to want to give it all away like me, right? Because we can't take it with us, so why not bless the next generation? Generational wealth, right? Let me see what you guys put in the chat. Let me see what kind of people is on this Zoom. Let me see if y'all be reading the Bible. Yes. Inheritance for your children, right? So that's 2 generations. And if you're part of this community, baby, you're going to leave stuff for more than 2 generations, because you're going to be blessed and you're blessed to be a blessing. So we got to have that saving discipline. We got to save that 10%. And maybe right now you might be saying, Odetta, I really can't do 10%. Okay, start where you are. But get on this platform and make more money, because this is a money machine, right? And you plan your secure future. So let me show you what 10%, the same 10% that you crying you can't pay or contribute or save, let's show you what this 10% could do. 60,000, nothing much. Average, right? Let's say you're working for 60,000 a year and you make that sacrifice. You eat out less. You stop doing stupid stuff. You stop wasting money. You stop doing things that you have no business doing, because guess what? It's just robbing your future. Right? And you put aside that 10%. You make that sacrifice, because you got to make a sacrifice. If you go through your budget and you see you doing your hair every week, your hair every month, or you getting your nails done, or you buying bottled water every day, like, listen, tighten up your budget. Get the Let's Get Rich Journal Project and tighten up your budget. Listen, you know what the millionaires say? The more money you make, act like you still didn't even make it. The more money you make, act like you still didn't even make it. But most people, the more money they make, the more they spend. Not OdettaKing.com. So when you're working for $60,000 and you set aside 10%, that's $500 a month or $17 a day. Let me show you how you're robbing yourself from the future. Because assuming you put that amount in an account earning 8%, in 30 years, you have almost $800,000. And because we're going to show you where to put it, it's $800,000. Okay? Okay? All of it tax-free. Not $800,000 in your 401k, your 403b, your TSP, your 457, which is going to be taxed how much? You don't even know. And you say you're good. You don't even know how much you're going to get taxed, but you're saying you're good. Come on, people, right? What if you were getting 10%? It's now over $1 million, 1.1, guys. Most people are retiring today with less than $300,000. Less than $300,000. And by the time that gets taxed, you still gonna be broke in your retirement. And you're going to be living on paycheck. And this is why we see more people are coming out back of retirement, because it's not enough. So my uncle, Warren Buffett, says, do not save what is left after spending. But what? Spend what is left after saving. What does that tell us, people? Save first. Make saving a priority, because the bill's going to still be billing. Let's face it, like, it's going to come right around again next month. So the rule of 72 shows us how many years it takes for your money to double. Why don't they teach this in school? I don't know. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. That's just how the system is set up so that we could keep poor, right? So it tells us you take 72. Albert Einstein created this formula. You take 72 and you divide it by the rate of return, or your interest. Whatever interest you're getting. This was a game changer to me. I'm like, what? So my money in the bank will never, ever double. And even if it does double, and guys, do the math. Most banks are giving 0 point something. Let's round it up to 1%. 72 divided by 1% is 72 years. You got 100,000 in the bank and you telling me you good? Like, really? You good? Have you even learned compound interest? Do you even know what's going on with your money? But you telling me you good. Like, how you good and you don't even know compound interest? How you good and you didn't even need to do the math? Like, it's going to take your money 72 years. You're going to be dead, buried, rotten, everything in 72 years. And even if your money doubles in 72 years, what is the purchasing power with inflation? Because don't you think inflation is also going to go up in 72 years? But you're saying you're good. Get in the classroom, right? So 10,000 earning 6% is 12 years. 12 years. So now you're 10,000 in 36 years grow to 80,000, and you're like, whoo, that my money grew. Well, what can you really buy with 80,000 in 36 years? Right? And if you're getting 8%, now your money's doubling every 9 years. And if you're getting 10%, your money's doubling every 7.2 years. Guys, if you know this, you're going to make money. If you don't know this, as my second book said, if you ain't stacking, you dropping, you're going to lose money. Because let's flip the script. This can work for you when you're saving and investing if you know this rule. And this is going to work against you with all forms of loans. So your mortgage, oh, I did the math, honey. I already did the math, and I know they ain't going to get an extra penny from me. I did the math. 72 divided by the interest rate. I been did the math. I been did the math. So that house that you pay $10,000 for, that you borrowed $10,000 for at a 7% rate, in 36 years, you got to pay the bank back $320,000. Or your student loan, or your car loan, or all loans. Do the math, right? So it is what it is. It is what it is. But when you do the math and you know this information, you also know, listen, baby, I'm going to pay this off before it doubles. They're not getting me. They're not going to get me. I'm going to get them. I'm going to use their money for free. They're not getting me. I'm going to get them because you know what? I'm going to pay it off before it doubles. Flip the script. But you can't do this if you don't know this. So here's an example. You got $100 you put somewhere, earning 5%. That's $5. Then you got to pay income tax. Then after tax and inflation, you really back to barely $100.75. You did all of that, and your money only grew by 75 cents because they did not teach you taxes and factor in inflation. So the 100,000 you got in the bank and you think you good, baby, you ain't good, because we did the math. We already know what the interest is at the bank. We already know how inflation is going to beat you up. It is what it is. You got to know this information and you got to apply it and be in this environment for self-improvement, right? Now let's look at how is your money growing. So you put your money in the bank, that's considered fixed. Your money is safe, but it's not growing. You put your money in the stock market because you say, oh, Dad, I got a 401k, they're matching. That's great if they're matching. But pick up what I'm putting down. Catch this. They're giving you the money with one hand and they're going to take it away in the other hand. Can somebody tell me how they're going to get you with the other hand? They're giving you the match over here. Woo woo. Put your money over here. We're going to give you 5% match. How are they getting us on the other hand? Somebody put it in the chat. Let me see what you're working with. How are they getting you? How are they getting you? How are they going to get you? They're giving you the 5% over here. Woo woo. Put your money over here. We're going to match it. How are they going to get you in the other hand? It's coming in happy, but it's not going out happy. How are they going to get you? Because they're going to get you. They're giving you that 5% match, but how much is your taxes? Do you know how much you're going to pay in tax? Do you know how much? Are you going to only pay 5% because they're giving you 5%? They're going to tax you 5%? No. What they're giving you doesn't even, like, come on. They're giving you what, 5%, 6%, 7%, 10% match, but how much you paying in taxes? Are you paying 10% in tax? Plus they lock away your money because if you're age under 59 and a half, now they're going to penalize you 10% and you got to pay 30 or 40% tax. So make it make sense. They're giving you it one way, but going to take it away the other way. It is what it is. It is what it is. We just got to know the rules and play the rules to win the money game, right? So Your money could grow, but it's not safe. It's not safe. It's a bloodbath. You could be rich today and you poor on Monday. This is why I love this business. This is why I get all my content to write my books. This is why you broke. They're giving you the money in one hand and they're going to tax the hell out of you in the other hand. Inflation is going to beat you up in the other hand. And stock market risks coming for you because everything that goes up must come down. Can you handle it? Can you handle it when it comes down? Tell me you're still good. Tell me you're still good when you have 100,000 and you go in your account and you see you down to 50. Tell me you're still good, right? I'm going to stop here. Can anybody share any experience where they had a lot of money and they lost money in the stock market? Anybody? You had a lot of money in your account. 2008, what happened?
Market crash.
Market crash. So what if you were scheduled to retire that year and you had $1 million? What if you got $1 million? 2008, you're ready to retire. Guys, when I would hear people commit suicide or have these devastated life events, I could not understand. How you gonna like kill yourself because some people had a lot of money. They had a lot of money. Like if you live in a certain lifestyle and you're a billionaire or a multi whatever, and you're devastated, right? So does anybody have any personal story or they know of anyone that they want to share about? They lost like a lot of money during those years. But if you have time to make it back up, that's good, but you're still behind because you should have never lost, right? You should have never lost the money. So, guys, it's real. It's real out here. And we're just showing people how to win the money game. We don't have to do this. So, let's continue. So, variable, it's up and down. You don't know what's going on. You have no control over the future. It is what it is, right? You down today, you up today, like it's a roller coaster. But guys, there's something called index. And this is where the elites are putting their money. This is where we learn where to put our money. Because you see, when your money is indexed with an insurance company, the insurance company has insured your money. And the insurance company has in their contract that you can never, ever, ever lose money. So why don't everybody know about this? It's available and it's been around, but if you know, you know. And if you don't, oh well, sorry for you. But this is why we do these webinars, because there's a lot of people that still don't know about these strategies. So when the insurance company index your money is safe, just like the bank, and your money is growing, just like the stock market. And this is a contract. And we have an attorney on the Zoom, right? And if we know anything about attorneys and we know anything about contracts, this is a contract with the insurance company. And it's right there, right? So now that you know a little bit more, where do you have your money? And now that you know a little bit more, where should your money be? Right? Because if it's in a bank account, it's safe, but it's not going to grow a lot because you got to factor in inflation and taxes. Now you put it in the stock market. Yes, it could grow a lot, but you're not safe. You're not secure. You don't know when you're 80 and 90 and 70 what's going to happen with your money. And for some smart people who love to tell me, well, Odetta, when I'm ready to retire, I'm going to take it out of the market and put it over here. Well, that's good. But guys, what is the problem with that? Take it out of the market and put it in a fixed account. What are some limitations by you taking it out of the market? For the people who love to say, Odetta, I'm good. I'm going to take it out of the market and I'm going to put it in a fixed account. Okay, what are some limitations with that, people? Nobody can tell? Let's see. What are some limitations? No growth. Honey, when you retire, your money still got to grow. Your money still got to grow. Your money still got to double and triple and work for you even harder because you ain't got no income coming in, but the bill's still coming in. The taxes still got to be paid. Even though your house might be paid off, baby, you still got to pay the tax. You still got to eat. You still got to travel, right? Everything is still happening. So your money better still be growing, even in retirement. So when you take it out of whatever you have it and you put it in a fix, yeah, you're not going to lose, but you're also not going to make a lot. You're not going to make a lot. You're not going to make a lot. But everything around us is making a lot because it's going up, right? So let's talk about taxes. And we have an IRS tax professional, my girl Judith, who's on this call. So if you're looking for a tax person, she's in this business and she does taxes. And I'm so happy to say she's my personal business partner that I brought on board, right? And she didn't even know about this. And she does taxes. And she'll tell you this. So when she found out about this, she's like, Odetta, forget about the business. I want this account for myself and my son, okay? Our son, right? So, guys, everybody needs these accounts, right? So when you put your money in a checking, savings, CD, stocks, and mutual fund, those are tax now accounts. You get paid at your job, you pay the tax. You put the money in here, the money grows. Uncle Sam is coming for his capital gains tax. Oh yeah, your money grew, he coming for that growth, to tax that growth, right? It is what it is, people. All we're doing is educating the public, right? Tax later, this is your lovely 401k, and you telling me, oh, Dada, I'm good, baby. You're gonna pay a whole lot of tax. Oh, you're gonna be very good to Uncle Sam. Okay, Uncle Sam is gonna love you. You're gonna be very good to him, right? Because now you got this $1 million in your 401k. Child, you don't even know how much tax you're gonna pay when you're ready to start taking distribution. But it is what it is. You got to learn this stuff, right? And when you learn this stuff, you implement it and you share it with your community. But you want to have that $1 million in a tax advantage account. So $1 million is $1 million, right? So these are some of the accounts that are tax advantage. And the word advantage also tells you it's a good thing, right? So let's talk about the Roth. The Roth is good from a tax perspective. But what is the downside with a Roth? Can somebody put in the chat, what is the downside with the Roth account? Oh, Alicia said fix is not really fixed. I love that. Okay, what is the downside or a limitation with the Roth IRA? Anybody can tell? Okay. Well, one of the downside is limitation. Yeah, they limit you how much you can put in. That should bother you. That should tell you something. This account is so good that they limit you how much you could put in. I believe it's 7,000 if you're under 50, and if you're over 50, 8,000. They limit you. Another thing they do with this Roth, guess what? If you make over 250, you can't contribute to it. What? You're making more money, but they don't want you to put in it? Yeah. 250, you can't put a Roth, you can't fund a Roth anymore. You cannot. So why? Why, if you're making more money, you can't put more money? Why are they stopping you? And the Roth is in the stock market. So it can go up, and we love when it goes up, but it can also come down. And we don't love that, right? 529 college saving, my gosh, please. I'm all over this. And this is why I wrote my book, Playground Millionaire, because so many parents have a 529 for their kids. If you're a grandparent on this call and your kids have a 529 for their kids, please, I beg, stop it. Stop funding it right this minute. Call us, call the person who invited you, and get more information. A 529 has limitations. Number one, you're telling the government, hello, look at me over here. I got money. You think they're going to give you money if you have money? You telling the government, I've been saving. I got 100,000 over here. You think they're going to give you money? You're literally like disqualifying yourself, literally giving up free money. And I don't care how much money you have. The wealthy people ain't trying to give it up, right? Another thing with the 529, what if your kids don't want to go to college? And then you say, well, the smart ones want to say, well, the next child could get it. What if the next child also don't want to go to college? Guys, for my family, I'm the only college graduate for my siblings. My sister didn't go to college. None of my brothers went to college. I'm the only one. So what if you have one child, or you have multiple kids and none of them want to go to college? Because we can see plenty of example in today's society. You could be successful without getting a college degree. You know that, right? But as an educator, I have to say, education is great. Go get the college degree. But now you disqualify yourself. You got no free money to get. Guys, I teach at St. John University. The kids don't look like me. The kids do not look like me. And every semester I poll them. I specifically poll them. They're all getting scholarships, grants, and free money. And they don't look like me. They're coming to school with the most high-tech gadgets. Their parents got these high positions. So how are they still getting free money? They ain't got a 529, okay? Because if they had a 529, they would not be getting this free money. So executive bonus, long-term care, and cash value, these are insurance-based products. And earlier, Christina talked about the long-term care. Guys, someday we're going to get sick, and statistics show we get sick before we die. And sickness has nothing to do with age. You could be young, you could be old, you could be middle-aged. We could get sick at any time. So what account do you have in place if you get sick? Knock on wood. What account do you have in place that will pay you money while you're sick and cannot work? Or you're already retired? What account do you have? Oh, you're going to liquidate your 401k? Why would you want to spend your own money when you can spend the insurance money? Why do you think I have 3.5 million? Is it for burial? No, it's not for burial. It's for peace of mind. It's for security, right? So if you don't have a plan for when you get sick, where the money's going to come from, you better make sure you talk to us. Otherwise, we already know how it's going to go. Let's talk about the third philosophy, self-improvement. Again, I just came back from Las Vegas. Man, I'm telling you, our founder said, money has nothing to do with self-improvement. But when you have self-improvement and money, that's a powerful combination. Self-improvement, you could lose everything and you're going to build it back and lead the team. Self-improvement is, I don't think they don't even teach self-improvement in school. If we were teaching more about self-improvement, there wouldn't be so many lack of everything. Self-improvement is huge. And unfortunately, I don't know about you, but me personally, if I was not in this environment, I would not be the way I am today. I would not be reading the books I'm reading today. I would not be listening to the podcasts I'm listening today. I would not be in association with the people I am if I wasn't part of this awesome committee with self-improvement. So if you're on this Zoom tonight and you might be saying, you know what, I've been looking for a community that can be uplifting, where I can learn about business, learn about money, learn about mindset, learn about everything. This is the opportunity to be in a room for self-improvement. Because again, most people are looking at about who they are today, but when you have self-improvement, you're not looking at where you are today. It's who you're going to become in the future. It's who you're going to become in the future because of the books you're reading, the associations you're in, the environment you're in, the conversation you're in. It's who you're going to become 5 years from now. That's going to come from self-improvement. Because you could give somebody $1 million. If you're still in the ghetto, you're still going to be broke. But you put somebody in the ghetto with self-improvement, watch them 5 years from now. Watch them 5 years from now when you put them in a self-improvement environment. Don't give them no money. Just give them self-improvement. They'll hustle their way to the top with self-improvement. I'm big on this. And we just came back from convention, and that was like a whole day session just on belief and self-improvement. Most people are in a common environment. They're always comparing, they're criticizing, they have limiting belief. This is why I wrote my book. This is why you broke. This is why you're broke. You're comparing yourself to people. You're criticizing yourself. You have limiting belief. I'm showing you $1 million opportunity and you're still talking yourself out of it. You focus on your weakness. You're seeing things impossible. First of all, this is why I wrote Faith and Finance. Nothing is impossible with God. Nothing is impossible. You want to make $1 million done. It's done. But most people are in a common environment. This is why you need self-improvement. Because with self-improvement, all of this gone. It's gone. When you're in a self-improvement environment, man, we focus on uniqueness. We focus on uplifting. We focus on dream. People have this saying, sky's the limit. No, sky is not the limit. I'm always in a plane. I'm above the sky. I'm above the sky. Sky is not the limit, right? There's no limitations with God. We focus on our strengths. We focus on possibility. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. We got challenged to help 2 families between now and March 22nd. It's not impossible. It is done. It is done. That's the mindset. Because of self-improvement environment. This creates self-belief. Yes, you can do it. This creates a winning spirit. When everybody else around you winning, you have to win too. Because you're going to have to level up, right? And you're always ready to embrace change. Whatever happened, we pivot. We don't look at the problems, we look at the solutions. Self-improvement. So big. So let's talk about some companies and how their philosophy has changed their business. Everybody know Amazon. They're in the retail space. It's about convenience. McDonald's, fast food. Nothing special about the meal, but it's fast. Starbucks, nothing really special about the coffee, but it's the experience that they provide. Uber, man, where's those taxis? Where's those taxis, right? Uber changed the game with accessibility. And WFG, World Financial Group, or as I like to say, working for God, right? We're in financial services, but we are different with our philosophy because we're teaching multi-handed income because we already know and see how it's happening when you just got skills and hours. Skills and hours ain't getting you nowhere far. You're still getting fired. You still living paycheck to paycheck. You still don't have no freedom. You still don't have no security. The 10% tree rules, tree goals, now you're secure. Whatever happens, what if something happened? You got the right strategy in place. You pass away prematurely, okay, things are in place. You get sick along the way, okay, things are in place. You live too long, okay, things in place. Your finance future is secure. And then with self-improvement, come on. You ain't got nothing today, but watch where I'm going to be 5 years from now with self-improvement. Watch where I'm going to be 3 years from now with self-improvement. It's undeniable. Who doesn't need self-improvement? Who doesn't want to grow? Well, there's some people who probably don't want to grow. Well, if they don't want to grow, this is not for them, right? So our philosophy with multi-handed income, saving that 10% tree rules, tree goals, self-improvement, and you get into education. The solution we offer is a Roth IRA, cash value life insurance, index annuity, right? Term living benefit. Listen, if you don't know what these things are, just know that it's good for you. Just know that it's good. If you don't understand all the mechanics, just know that it is good. An index annuity, you could never outlive that money. You're going to die and there's still going to money be there. If you don't spend it all, your family get it. Some index annuity have living benefit built in. You get sick along the way, they double the money. Term living benefit, you got a mortgage, you can't afford to save some money, get you a term living benefit. You get sick within that 30 years, you got some money coming to you. You pass away prematurely, you got money, your family got the money, they paid off the mortgage, keep the house. We all gonna die someday. You need final expense. A client told me 2 days ago that I got my burial money. You got your burial money, yeah, but you don't know when you die if that money's still gonna be there. Get you a final expense. So it doesn't matter what happens, whenever, you got a final expense that's gonna pay out. When I first started 8 years ago, I told my leader, oh, I got my final expense money. The lady said, Odetta, how is your mom gonna get to the money? Yeah, I know you got money. Yeah, I know you got 50 grand to bury yourself, but how is your mom going to get to that money? No, right? Get these strategies in place. And some of the companies that we work with, Transamerica, Nationwide, they're on your side, right? Top Fortune 100 company, right? Pacific, Prudential, Fidelity, Vanguard. I'm sure you know about Fidelity because you probably got brokerage account with them, right? So our job is to educate the community. We empower them with financial education, and the company pay us. You, the client, don't pay us. These companies, when we put a strategy in place with Transamerica, Nationwide, Prudential, Vanguard, they pay us for sitting with that family, educating that family, and helping that family, right? So on our platform, it's very, very empowering. The multi-handed income, just like a McDonald's, RevMax, Chipotle, Subway, they all have a system. The people who own those franchises probably don't even ever be in the building, but they're still making money. Well, this is your financial franchise, right? This is your financial franchise business. And then the 10% tree rules, tree goal, we prioritize education. Because now when I empowered you with this information, you could pick, choose, and refuse. Now you know what's better. I don't have to tell you get this account. You're gonna know now you get the whole picture, you're gonna know what's best for you. And then self-improvement, it's a done deal. We're providing people the environment to realize their true potential. Guys, you know how many people come to this business, never travel, was never great at public speaking. This business changed them. Right? So every year we start off great, but guess what? December roll around and we didn't accomplish much. And it's just a rat race going over and over. We have these big aspiration and goals in the beginning, and then year end come, and what did we accomplish? Yes, some people accomplished some, but it could have been more, right? You keep doing that for 30, 40 years, 30, 40 years. Keep doing that and see how great your life is going to be. So with multi-hand, you own it. It's always better to own. It's always better to own. I got a girl right now who's one of my tax clients. She's on my case to buy my land in Guyana. Every couple of months, she's sending me a text. She sent me a text today. Said, Odetta, what are you going to do? Like, do you want to sell it or not? How much do you want? I got a doctor in America who wants to go back to Guyana and retire. He's been on my case since last year to buy my land. It's always good to own people. I said, no, I'm not selling. I'll think about it. I keep stringing him along. I'll think about it. One time I say yes, one time I say no. But I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I like? Land don't spoil. Just keep weeding it. Not 10, 15 years. It's going to be like triple, four times, 5 times, 10 times the price. It's always good to own. So if you got a job and you love your job, that's okay. But own a business, because with a business, you have so much more leverage and tax write-off. So when you own a business in like this business and you have 40 licensed agents, right? You're making $250,000. $250,000 as a 1099 versus $250,000 W-2. Man, it's 2 different outcomes, right? It's 2 different outcomes. Making $250,000 in a W-2 and making $250,000 on a 1099 is 2 different outcomes. And what if you have 80 licensed brokers? Now you're making $500,000. Some people will never, ever even think of making $500,000. It's not even possible to make $500,000 where they work. And what if you have 120 license? This is why you got to be in a self-improvement environment, because this is possible. Having 120 licensed agents, you're making $1 million a year. $1 million a year. And we just have Myra, who's one of our other tax professional. She's been in this business for 3 years. She don't have 120 license, and she's crossing $1 million by next month. She does not have 120 license. 3 years, tax professional. She just made her declaration at our leadership retreat that we just came back from. She's closing up shop. She don't want to do nothing with tax no more. She closing down her office. She's going to 100% full time in this business, because this is where she can make the bigger impact. And you know why she's making this money faster? A lot of her clients are business owners. 6, 7 figure clients. Her tax client, business owners. So when they sit with her and she showed them this, what they gonna say? It's a scam? You're my tax person. They're moving money by the 6 and 7 figures. When they sit with her, they're not saving 4,000, 3,500. They're moving 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Big money moving. Why? She's their tax person. They know she's not going to steer them wrong. She's dealing with the IRS, right? Get in this environment. It's self-improvement, right? So what are some concerns? You might be saying, well, that, you know, how much, you know, this is a financial franchise. How much am I going to have to pay? Is it going to be a lot of money? No, it's not going to be a lot of money. It's $125. $125 to start this agency. And if you're like, well, I don't know about the business part, get in this environment for self-improvement and watch yourself grow who you're going to become in the next 5 years, before 5 years. $125, you register your agency, you get the study material, $30, and you start studying for your license fast, right? How about time? Well, if you can commit 8 to 10 hours, you're good. I tell people, don't go look for a part-time job and go do 30 hours. Come here and do 8 to 10 hours. You're going to make way more money. And forget about the money. The byproduct, incredible. Is there a need? Who's teaching this? Who's teaching this information? The universities are not. The schools are not. You heard from Christine. She's not teaching this. That's not her job. Her job is to tell you, hey, this is the benefits, sign up. So there is a need for this information. Everybody needs it. Well, Odetta, like, I don't know anything about finance. You ain't got to know nothing about finance. I didn't know anything much about finance either. This is why you want to be in this environment for self-improvement, right? You're going to get trained. You're going to be attending trainings. You're going to be attending webinar. You're going to be attending. There's so, like, you literally could be learning all day. There's so much to learn. And is this a scam? What are the risks? Are they going to run away with my money? Well, first of all, it's not a scam because you need an insurance license. You need a government state license. You're going to be fingerprinted. You're going to be checked out before you even could even sit with anybody and do anything. So the risk is you staying right where you are. That's the risk. You're not changing. Well, worst case scenario, you're going to get world-class financial education. You're going to be in an empowering environment. But if you get the license, you get both, right? So is it important for you to get educated about money and how money works? Is it important for you to 5x and 10x your income? Because your job definitely ain't going to do it. Is it important for you to live debt-free? Yeah, because most of the debt people have is not good debt. It's not debt that's making them more money or increasing their net worth. It's bad debt. It ain't doing nothing good for them, right? And is it important for you to live a world-class lifestyle? Hell yeah. Who doesn't want to go on a vacation every 3 weeks? In WFG, we don't do vacation. We do retreats. What is there to vacate from? I love this business. There's nothing to vacate from, right? We don't do vacation. We do retreats because it's a tax write-off. So are you able to accomplish this with single hand, produced by your skills and hours? No, you're not. Or multi-handed income. So here are your choice in closings. You have 3 options to put yourself on track. Number 1, are you interested in multi-hand income to 5x and 10x your income? We get you enroll, you pay the $125, and we get you going with the government license process to get your insurance license and get you trained on the system. Option 2, you might be saying, well, I don't know about the business part. That's okay. Business is not for everybody, right? Everybody need a business, but business is not for everybody. But everybody sure needs to save money. Everybody sure needs to make sure that their future is secure. Everybody's looking for peace of mind. What if I get sick? What if I live too long, right? You got to have your 3 rules and 3 goals. We live in America. Every 30 to 40 seconds, somebody's getting diagnosed with heart attack, cancer, and stroke. We have 2 nurses on the call. So You could sit down with a one-on-one to secure your financial future. And number three, well, in my opinion, everybody needs this, right? Are you willing to help share this information by referring us to some of your friends and family or coworkers? So introduce us. Let us bless somebody else. Don't keep the blessing to yourself, right? Don't keep it to yourself. So at this point, I'm gonna bring it back to Stacy. If Stacy and Christine want to share, wow, we still got 30 people on, right? 30 people on a Saturday night. Now that right there, you should give yourself a round of applause, right? I want to show you guys the strategy. One of the strategies that we talk about is the IUL. And I have 3 IULs, right? I'm going to have Stacy and Christina also share the strategy that they have in place for themselves. So as you guys can see, this is a screenshot that I took from one of my IULs. I'm insured for $1 million with this particular plan. You can see my name. My cash value is $101,000. Listen, baby, this is tax-free. This is tax-free, okay? I ain't got to pay tax on this money, baby, okay? I'm sleeping good at night. If Donald Trump want to go fight war with whoever and companies are warring, this is not affecting my cash value. This is not affecting it. Who wants a war with America? Who's upset with America? Which company, which Fortune 500 company went down, went up, sideways? Nothing in touching my 101,915, which, by the way, this amount keeps going up because if you notice, it says as of January 2. If I show you the screenshot right now, today, March 4th, do you think it went up or it went down? This account only goes in one direction. This account don't do the flip-flop, up, down, up, down, up, down. Every time I log into my IUL, my cash value went up. It went up because obviously I'm contributing. It went up obviously because I'm earning about 10 to 12% interest. This is tax-free and this is risk-free. I don't ever have to worry about my IULs. Ever. And on top of it, with this particular plan, I also have long-term care and I have my chronic and my critical. So guess what? Any illness, I mean, we don't pray for these things. We pray it up. We prayed up, we anointed, we got the olive oil, we got everything, right? The weapon will form, but it's not going to prosper. So when the weapon form, we ready. Ready. We ready, right? Because it's not going to prosper. So what account do you have? Stacy, I'm going to turn it back to you if you want to share about your strategy and also Christina.
Okay, thank you, Odetta. So I don't know how many people are on here from Canada or across the border here. Actually, we don't have IULs here. We have universal lives, we have whole lives, and they work differently. So for myself, unfortunately, I had some health history issues because, guys, these counts are privileged. Not everybody gets approved, right? So as you see me here, I look great and I look cute. But in the past, I had, a condition where I couldn't see, I couldn't speak, I couldn't raise my hand, I couldn't walk. So it happened to me, the thing is, Cecile, I had about 10 months worth of emergency fund. And Allison, do you know how long I was sick for? I was sick for 2 years, right? So my financial house was all over the place, right? So because of those things, I kept getting denied. I wanted to get like, if I could get 500 million so that I could leave my kids the best I wanted to, but unfortunately I couldn't. However, because I have children, I was able to get a plan for my youngest child at the time, my daughter, who was around 12 at the time. So I'm overfunding that policy, knowing that if I need anything, I can use the cash value in that for my long-term care, right? So I have my diaper saving money right there in her account because later on in life, we're living longer, right? So what's going to happen? Once a man, twice a child, right? We are going to need someone to change our diapers and you have to pay for that. So I have that money saved in that account. Hey, if I live healthy, which is my plan, that's what I'm working on, and everything is good, then she gets the money, right? She gets the inheritance. So that's the plan that I have. One of the plans, anyways, that I have in place. I have everything set up for all my kids' wills. Everything is done. Everything with the financial house from, like I said, the cradle to the grave, everything is set and in place.
Wow, I love how I'm gonna steal that from you. She said diaper money.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
you
like
have
diaper
to. You
money.
have to have it. The adult diapers are more expensive than kid diapers. So make sure you have that saved up.
Wow. Wonderful. Okay, so great sharing, Stacy. Again, preparation is key. So one of the solutions that I have is the nationwide protector. And as I stated, when I spoke earlier, that was my concern. What if something happens and I get to a place to where I cannot function in a long-term care status? So the nationwide protector is enough to take care of my expenses monthly. I won't have to rely on my husband or my son to take off of their work and to take care of me. This will be my choice of skilled care, and my preference, which I have, is to be taken care of at home. So the monthly benefit on this nationwide accumulator, excuse me, nationwide protector, will cover my monthly expenses. If there's anything left over, no questions asked, no receipts needed, because when you're sick, who feels like fishing for receipts, from your, things that you have for expenses? So when that monthly benefit takes place and comes into the house every month, once my health care needs are taken care of, my husband and son can make the determination of whether they want to put the balance in the bank or whether they want to pay bills or do whatever. And then one other solution that I find that is very, very important is the final expense. Nationwide, there's the Everest. And what I love about Everest is it's immediate, meaning within 48 hours, FedEx is at the door and my beneficiary is handed a check to take care of my final expenses, burial, cremation, whatever my choice is. And there's so many features, I'm not going to go into those with the Everest that are just amazing. It makes it seamless and it's like a gift to the family, you know, without them having to go through already grieving, but having to go through the extra layers of taking care of the final expense. So, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, guys, you see, we do it all from birth to burial, right? So, again, we don't want to overwhelm you, but in closing, I'm going to share a couple of events that we have coming up because we want to keep the conversation going. This is not just a one-time thing. I'm very, very big on education as an educator. I love teaching. I love sharing this information. So starting Sunday, April 5th, we do have our Faith and Finance book club. I'm very, very proud of this one. God has been blessing my money ministry. And listen, this is faith and finance. We're strengthening our faith with God because with God, all things are possible. And we know that money answers all things. And when you have this combination, this is powerful. You believe in God and you're learning about money, and we're learning about money to bless other people and to give it all away, right? We're going to be a blessing to others. So the book club is going to be starting Sunday, April 5th. So I encourage you to get the book. So this way you can read along. We're going to be sharing deep dive discussion, personal stories, time, money with faith. And again, it's that self-improvement environment that you want to be in, right? This coming Monday, not Sunday, but tomorrow, well, after tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to be doing this presentation again. So if you have people that you want to share it for them to come on and listen, take a screenshot of this flyer. That is the Zoom ID, and the password is there on the flyer. I'm going to be doing this 7 o'clock. My Spanish counterpart, Nelson Martinez, is going to be doing the Spanish version at 9 p.m. So if you have any Espanol speaking friends, family members, co-workers, same flyer, Zoom ID, they can get on the 9 p.m. with Nelson Martinez. And my other girl, Erin, is going to be doing the 10 p.m. So this is information, again, we're super passionate to get out, because most people who say they good don't even know none of this. Okay, so I don't know how they good, right? We know already how that's gonna go. So this is coming March 16th. One of the books that I wrote is How to Stop Spending Like the Masses. Stack your coins, increase your net worth, and build real wealth. This is an ebook to help you with your spending, because we just out here spending, spending, spending. We say we don't have money to save and invest, but listen, we finding money to go do everything else, right? So we have to curb that, right? We need to spend less, even though you might be making more money. Why would you want to spend more because you're making more? Now, save and invest more, right? The more money I make, the more money I save, the more money I give away. The more money I make, the more money I save and invest. The more money I make, the more money I put in my IULs. I put in my IULs first because I know my IULs are safe, it's secure, it's tax-free, it's risk-free, and I ain't got to worry about losing it. Also, March 25th, I'm teaming up with my boy, Tony Gator, and we're going to talk about becoming debt-free, right? And managing your credit. Because if you want to buy a house or you want to do whatever that's going to require your credit, you want to make sure you have stellar credit. And if you have debt, right? Again, personal empowerment, right? Listen, it is what it is. When you know this information, you could navigate the landscape better. You could make better decisions with your debt. You know, rule of 72, you understand how interest work. You know how compound interest work. If you got to borrow the money, but make sure that you're leveraging that borrowed money, right? So here's a flyer. If most of you that are on this Zoom tonight, you'll get an email go out with the recording, because this webinar is recorded, and you're going to get the links to also register. So make sure when you get that email, just scroll down and you're going to see the links to sign up for all of these events. So definitely I recommend, actually, I think we're almost at 100 people who registered for this webinar, and the webinar space can only hold 100 people on the call. So this particular one, we know if you don't get in, do not text me, because it's 100 is the max capacity, right? Because a lot of people have challenge with debt. If you live in New York, once a month we do in-person seminar, and March 28th is going to be our Coins and Conversation pop-up shop. This is where we feature, oh my God, Anaya is here. And this is where we feature aspiring or business owners. And Anaya is one of the business owners that's going to be featuring at the pop-up shop with along 5 or 6 other business owners. And then from 3 to 4:30 this particular month, we're very, very super grateful that one of our vice president from Transamerica will be in the building sharing more information about some of these strategies. So I recommend take a picture of this flyer. If you live in the New York area, come on out, network, meet us, shake hands, ask questions, and let's see how we can help you elevate. We also have our convention coming up in Philadelphia. Well, we have it in 3 locations: Denver, Colorado, Honolulu, Hawaii, and Philadelphia. But because we're on the East Coast, we're going to be going to the one in Philadelphia on May 1st and 2nd at the Hilton Philadelphia City Avenue. It's a 2-day convention, right? Well, not even a full 2-day, 1.5 day. Again, please, it's all about self-improvement. Get in the environment, change your perspective, elevate your mindset. And listen, maybe you might be there already, right? But there's nothing wrong with growing. And if you live in New York, we're going to be having a bus ride taking us there. For to get on the bus, it's $100 per person. You do have to book your convention ticket, and of course, obviously the hotel. And again, whoever invited you, they can give you all the details to register for the hotel, register for the convention. But I can tell you the best investment is investing in yourself, because you're going to spend $300-$500 anyway, and it's not going to be paying back into you. So again, self-improvement, get in the environment. I can't stress it enough. More conventions. Can you tell we're into self-improvement? Yes, this time we're going to Edmonton, Canada in June 24, 25, 26, and 27. One thing I love about this business, you are always traveling, right? If you're somebody that loves traveling, or you don't travel enough, or you would like to travel more, this is the place for you, because we are always traveling. And guess what? Because this is a business, it's 100% tax write-off, right? We don't do vacations, we do retreats, because it's a tax write-off. I just came back from Vegas, and man, I was having 3-course meal. Every day I was eating like 2-3 ice cream, like all kind of stuff. I was overdoing it. I mean, I gotta go hit the gym this week. But the point is, it's a tax write-off, right? It's like vacation, but it's work. It's a tax write-off. I'm not doing vacation no more. Once I got into this business, we going everywhere. It's business. It's a tax write-off. And then, of course, you guys know we do our Faith and Finance every Sunday, right? So again, some of you are already on it. Once you register once, you get the same email link. Just come back on. So again, as you guys can see, we are faith-based. We love helping people, educating people, and we want to make a difference in our community, right? Because our community has been left behind, and women in particular also, we bear so much of the brunt. We work so hard. We're the caregiver. We're doing everything for everybody, but who's doing it for you, right? So with that being said, we're also looking for people who want to poke a hole in the sky, get on our team, and help families. So if you are someone who said, you know what, I love everything that I heard, I want to do this business, maybe something I said tonight inspired you, motivated you, wanted you to take the next action, it's $125. That's it. Get on board as a member, get the help with your finance. And if you choose to get the license, then we could show you the path to get the license. But everybody, it's a no-brainer. Get in the environment, right? So with that being said, I don't know if Christine or Stacy want to say anything that I miss.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, you got it all in there. Once again, ladies, happy International Women's Month. I really think we need to do more of these, though.
I agree.
Mhm.
So let's see what the crowd has to say. So who thinks we should do an encore, and this time challenge you to invite 1 or 2 guests more? What do you think? Put in the chat. Okay, Andrea said, love it. Does anybody have any questions?
It's gonna be on Zoom.
Okay. Pastor Carol said yes. Anaya said it's a great networking opportunity. Yes. Allison, excellent idea. Sharika, we should do this again for sure. Okay, but looks like we're gonna be doing it. So does anybody have any question or want to add any takeaways? What stood out to you tonight? Or if you have any questions for us. Take advantage. You got 3 powerhouses, right? Or maybe just want to share something, right? You have Christina, who's with the government HR. You have Stacy, and you have myself. So ask questions, guys. Or if you want to share something, share your takeaway. Let's engage.
I think they're taking it all in, Odette. It's a lot of information, so definitely they can probably reach out to who invited them as well to get more information. But yeah, it was awesome.
Alrighty, so we will definitely be emailing you the recording with the links to a couple webinars, and also we'll talk among ourselves and pick a date, and we'll see you.
Mhm.
We'll see you
Oh,
soon.
Odetta, I see someone had asked the question, how late is it to get into the game? I think it's never too late. If that's
Never too late. As long as you're alive, as long as you're alive, you have hope. Never too late. Oh, Debbie Coleman said, is there a reason why I have three IULs? So does anyone want to answer that? Why is it I have three IUL? Can anybody take a stab? Okay, so why does someone have more than one bank account? Why does someone have more than one bank account? Right? You could have multiple bank accounts for different reasons. But the reason why I have three IULs I'm glad you asked. When I first started this business, like everybody else, I was skeptical. Like everybody else, I didn't really know, you know, how these accounts were going to pan out. So I got a small policy, right? I did not know that God was going to bless me and I would be making a lot of money in this business. So I took a very small policy with $150 because I'm like, listen, I don't know if this thing is real. Let me check it out. I'm not going to put a lot of money in here. So let me just go with a little $150. Guys, baby, to God be the glory. I came in this business with my expertise, my hunger, my drive, my grit, my tenacity. And with 100,000 life insurance IUL, the max I could have put in that account was about 3,000 or 4,000 for the whole year. Again, I didn't know what I did not know. See, so when people say they're good, you're only good up to what you know. If you don't know everything, you can't be good. So I came in with the expectation I'm going to be reserved. I'm going to take a small policy, 100,000 only. I'm only going to save 150 because I got to check this stuff out. But baby, I came in here and the educator I am, I started reading. I read all the books. If they say go read Retirement Miracle, I'm buying Retirement Miracle. They say go read The Power of Zero, I'm reading The Power of Zero. They say go read How the Wealthy Got Rich, I'm getting all the books. I'm attending all the webinar. I'm making friends with the providers. I was like, this stuff is real. And then I started seeing the interest. So I started helping more families and I was making good money. So the cap on that small policy, 100,000, the max I could have put in a year is 4,000. I was making more than 4,000 in my first 6 months. Where else was I going to put the money? Because now you know better, you do better. So if I'm making more money and now I understand taxes, I understand inflation, I understand the rule of 72, I understand how the banks make money because I read the book. I read the book and the book showed me where the banks are putting our money. There's no way I could go back and do now that I know better. So yes, I started leveling up because that one account that I had for 100,000 coverage IUL, saving 4,000 a year, and maxed it out. I can't put more than 4,000 a year because now we're gonna have a MEC, and a MEC is I'm gonna get taxed if I put more than 4,000. So now I had to get a bigger policy, and that's how it is, right? So the more money you make, what did I say? The more I save. The more money I make, I don't spend more. The more money I make, I save more. But my mom is like, Daddy, you ain't got no kids. And Corey's going to blow out your money overnight. So you better start spending it. Now I'm a little bit more, I'm spending it, but still, I'm saving more. So you get multiple accounts because if you max out your 7 pay number, you can't put more because now you're going to get a tax event. You don't want the money to be taxed. And the insurance company is very good with this. If your max is 50,000 a year and you send them 50,000 and a quarter, they're going to send you back that quarter because they don't want to deal with the IRS and get that money taxed. So also in this business, when you know better, you're not going to put your money in those other accounts. We just had a training today where our coach showed us it doesn't even make sense putting money in real estate. We just did a training on this today. Somebody could start saving. Who was on that training today that Johnny did the illustration? What was the amount that that client was saving in his IUL? And by age 70, he had, what was the amount at age 70? Who remembers that training that did today? So I'm not the only one talking about it. You can unmute and share. Unmute and share, right? How much was the amount they were saving in the IUL, and by a certain age, how much were they going to have? You can't do this stuff with a real estate. You buy properties, you sell that property, you're going to pay a whole lot of taxes. A whole lot of taxes. So when he I've learned so much in this business that I'm not going to do real estate. I don't want to deal with tenants. I don't want to deal with shoveling the snow. I don't want to get the call, the boiler breakdown, this breakdown. I'm always on a plane somewhere. I don't want to get those calls. Right? So when you know better, I'm not going to keep buying. I'm not going to buy properties. I'm going to get more IUL because IUL feeds itself. It's tax-free. It's risk-free. Nobody's calling me. All I got to do is log in and see how much money I grew from last month to this month. No tenant. Nobody taking me to the court. So you get multiple plans because, again, it's a way to shelter and grow your money. And don't forget, IUL comes with your age and your health. So if you're young and you're healthy, you take advantage of it and lock it in now. And if you're in this business, you're going to make money. So when you make the money, where you're going to park it? In your IUL. So you get it while you can. Because guess what? Now they say I got asthma. I'm not claiming it. They said I got asthma. And if I try to get an IUL now, they're going to be like, oh, Daddy, you got asthma. Like, you've been going to all these 20, 30 different doctors. You taking this inhaler, even though I'm not taking it, I'm still taking it because I'm picking up the prescription. So you're young. If all of you got your kids, you got your grandkids, they don't understand this. They ain't got to understand it. Make sure they're protected. Make sure they're saving. Because I promise you, in the later years, they're going to thank you. They may not get it now. My mom called me today and she said, Corey's having some difficulties. He's a good kid. He has a good job. He's in school. But right now, he's not able to fund his IUL. I said, Mom, don't worry about it. I'll cover it for him. Don't worry about it. I'll fund the 150 until he, catches himself or whatever. I'm not going to let it lapse because I know what it's going to do for him in his 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. When I'm dead and gone, I know what it's going to do for him. Right? So if you got kids and grandkids, this is the best gift you could give to them. They'll keep thanking you. So you could have multiple. You just got to be able to fund it, right? And if you believe in generational wealth, guess what? It's not going to get tangled in probate court. It's not going to get tangled up in probate court at all. And it's tax-free. You leave your property to your kids, they sell the house, they're going to pay a lot of taxes. You leave your property to your kids, They don't want to deal with it. They're living in a different state. They sell it. They're going to deal with the taxes, right? So, but it's just different thinking. Some people, okay, let's see if there's any other question. Okay. Well, guys, we've been on for the last 2 hours, and we still got 26 people on, but we love you, but we got to go. So please, thank you so much for being on. This has been awesome. But more importantly, let's take action, right? So you're on this call, you're a client of ours, great, you're in the right place. Share this information with your friends, your coworker, your colleague, your sister, your brother, your neighbor. Again, we'll be back here tomorrow for Faith and Finance, and then Monday, again, this exact same presentation on Monday. So please, please, please expect a call from us. Our business partners and myself, we're going to be reaching out to you if we invited you, but also call us, right? Don't wait for us. Also call us, but we'll be reaching out to you as well. So thank you so very much, and we will see you tomorrow, Sunday, 7 o'clock, praising God because He is good all the time.
I put my armor on so you